Hello and welcome to the Millionaire Mompreneur Podcast, where we empower mompreneurs to build wealth, grow thriving businesses, and reclaim their time. I'm your host, Alexa Starks. I'm a tech expert, a ChatGPT master, and a mama to two little ones under 2. And I'm here to guide you through the ups, the downs, and everything in between of running a business while raising a family. Each week, we'll dive into topics like making money, scaling your business, and embracing a millionaire mindset. So grab a coffee or reheat the one that you forgot, and let's get started on building the life that you deserve. Hello, and welcome to this next episode of this podcast, The Millionaire Mompreneur. I'm Alexa Starks. Today is all about how to turn your passion into profits and how to monetize your hobbies. So I love this one, and I think this is really relatable to a lot of people because everyone's got hobbies, and as moms and mompreneurs, we're trying to find a way that we can make money and do something that we're passionate about, right? That's if you've got a career in corporate America, maybe you're trying to leave that and maybe you're trying to grow a side hustle or start a side hustle from scratch that you want to turn into a full-grown career, right? And so we want to do something we're passionate about that we love, but not everything is going to make money. And some things there's already a huge market for, which is great. So we're going to talk about how to turn something that you love into a source of income for you. And I'm going to talk you through how to evaluate if a hobby can be profitable. And I'm going to talk about identifying your passions that can be profitable, how to test your ideas, how to create a sustainable business model that's going to generate revenue and marketing tips, and how I turned my passion into a profitable business as well. All right, so let's talk about identifying profitable passions. What you're passionate about. Is it profitable at all? So some hobbies are not as profitable, right? If you're into collecting dolls, or if you like to walk on the beach and collect seashells, right? Like those aren't really profitable, or they would be very, very hard to turn a profit big enough in those. So things like if you're really into working out, right? Like I love fitness. I always tell myself, like, why not be a fitness influencer? But I love fitness, right? And I'm a big foodie, right? Those are two things that could turn a profit, right? You could be a food blogger or a food critic or a food influencer. I think maybe that's a thing. I hope it is, because that would be fun. If you're into fitness, you could do fitness coaching. You could have a fitness channel on Instagram or YouTube. So there's a lot of profit and there's a lot of market that's already out there for those things. So let's now figure out how we identify, is your passion something that can be profitable, right? What's the potential? So let's ask ourselves these 3 questions. So what do I love so much to do that I would do it even if I weren't being paid? And maybe that's easy. Maybe you're already not being paid for it. Maybe not. So if you could do anything and you would do it for free, would you still do it for other people, right? Like if you loved fitness so much and someone asked for your help in coaching them on fitness, but you loved fitness so much, would you do it for free if you weren't getting paid? And the next question is, do people ask you for help with it, or do people admire your work in this area? So for example, fitness, let's go with that, because I love fitness and this is relatable for me. If you were do people ask you for advice on fitness, right? Do they ask you for exercise tips or advice, or do they always compliment, oh my God, you work out so hard, I'm so jealous, right? Or, if it's, let's say, painting or artwork of some kind, right? Are people asking for you to help them with it? Or are they always admiring how good you are and the skill you have in it, right? Okay, the third one is there an existing market for this type of product or service already? So fitness, yes. Artwork, and there's a whole market out there for that. Like I said, collecting dolls, if that's your hobby, probably a harder niche to break into and make money. So you want to think, what's the market out there, and could you take something you're passionate about and grow it into that market? Okay. So for example, if you really love crafting, there's a huge market out there for crafting. I know Pinterest is all about crafts. You could crafts on Etsy. You could sell your crafts. You could teach people to make crafts, right? You could have a course about how to make your craft. You could create YouTube videos about how you're doing it behind the scenes, right? Or Instagram. So things like baking. There's a huge baking market out there for same sort of thing. A course, teaching your skills on how to bake or showing how you do it. You could be a baker, you could be a food blogger and video maker about it. So there's a lot out there: photography, blogging, fitness coaching, digital design. These are huge markets that there's a lot of potential for. So if you have a hobby of yours, like if you love graphic design and creating things on Photoshop, right? You could probably teach other people how to do that. And that's a course that you could do. If you love photography, you could probably teach a photography class, create a photography course where you teach beginners how to start up photography, right? Things like that. So now, how do we test your idea before you start investing a lot of time and money? So this one, let me stay close to the mic. So this one is important because we don't want you to invest a ton of money. You know, maybe you get annual subscriptions for some different platforms, or you buy some equipment. We don't want you to invest money and time and energy if it's not going to be profitable, or if it's going to be just a small profit, or there isn't a big enough demand out there for your product. And yes, if you are starting from scratch, this is going to be difficult to ramp up, right? So this is different. If you have a huge following already and you're testing out a new idea that you're going to do, that's different than if you're starting from scratch, from zero. You are creating a brand new social media accounts and brand new YouTube channel or brand new course, and you don't have any emails in your email CRM yet. So you're starting from an audience of zero. Take that with a grain of salt, because yeah, it's going to be difficult to start from an audience of zero and grow and sell your products. But focus on the market. Is there already a huge market out there for your type of product or service? So we can still look at testing our product and service to see if it's going to be profitable before investing real time and money. And I always recommend, when you are first starting out and you're going to get a subscription for a platform or service, right, like Canva or a video recording software like this, make sure, I like to always do the monthly subscription plans. I know you save money if you do the annual one, but at least if you do the monthly plan, you can figure out first if you like it and if you're really going to be getting into this hobby that you want to now turn into a side hustle or a career, so that you don't blow 10 times more on the annual plan just to save a little money, and then 6 months later you're like, I can't do it. Okay, so some low-cost ways to test out demand. So start with small, right? You can ask your friends, ask your family, test it out with them. You can post it on your personal social media and get feedback from your personal social media following if they're interested in that, or their feedback on it, right? Maybe they have feedback that you might then tweak something of yours and change it a little bit. You could also send out a survey to gauge their interest in your product, right? So if you have a current following on social media and you're testing out an idea of, would you be interested in this photography course, right? You can create a survey or do some like little polls or quizzes on your Instagram stories and ask people about it that way and see if they'd be interested. So like I mentioned, you can also on Instagram just ask people in the comments, let me know in the comments what you think of this, ask them questions, would you be interested in this? And then the next thing is creating a minimum viable product, an MVP. They talk about this a lot in corporate America, but it's just creating literally a minimum viable product. What is the most basic first version, first iteration of your product or service that you can get out into the market, see how it resonates with people before you then like fully commit to something. And then that way, if you need to tweak something and people are giving you feedback like, oh, I like this, but this, I'm not too sure about this part of it. And you could be like, okay, great, let me adjust it. You know, you could also do like a beta round. If you're launching a course or service, you can have a beta round where you get people testing it out. Maybe it's for free or for like a discounted price. And that way they can really test out your product and you can get real-time feedback on it and go from there and iterate and create like version 2 and version 3 and so forth. Okay, let's talk about, sorry guys, I'm just reading off my outline because I've got mom brain and it's very real. And I want to make sure that I don't miss any points for you guys. Okay, so let's talk about creating a sustainable business model. This is really important. One, because as mompreneurs, we often have a very limited budget. Or if this is your side hustle and you're trying to grow your business, you may not have made much money in it or any at all yet. And so there's a very small budget, or you have to dip into your personal money. And so we want to help create a sustainable business model that is set from the beginning to make money, and you can then start to reinvest those profits into your business. So first, let's define our revenue streams, right? So how are we going to generate revenue and bring in money for your new creation, your course or your product or your service, right? So are you selling products or digital downloads? Or are you offering one-on-one coaching? Is it a course? Are you trying to monetize YouTube videos? Are you creating an ebook or PDF thing, download, right? So brainstorm ways that you could turn your hobby into a recurring revenue stream. And those are two different things, right? We've got one-off course purchases or a one-off digital download, which is great, but those are one-time purchases. As opposed to maybe one-on-one coaching, you've got a monthly fee, or you've got like 3 fees for 3 different coaching sessions, right? Or if you're doing a membership group, right? Maybe you've got a monthly recurring revenue. So try to think of how you can monetize your passion, your hobby, into bring in revenue on one-off purchases or monthly recurring revenue. Okay, next, set realistic pricing. If you're just starting out with a brand new audience, or you're just starting out and launching a brand new course, maybe it's free, or maybe it's very cheap and this is your minimum viable product, and you iterate and you can increase prices, but focus on what are your competitors doing as well? Like, what's the price of the market? If it's a photography course and the average photography course is $100, that's a good reasonable price to put your course at, right? Or maybe you put yours a little bit lower at $75 and it's a beta round, right? Or, so that you are being a little bit more competitive than what's out there in the market. So you get people to really join your course, and so you can get that feedback and then iterate and then put the price back up to the market price at $100. Okay. But also focus on, when you're setting your price, what's the cost going into it? If you're crafting something and selling it on Etsy, that's taking your time and energy. Maybe you have to buy the materials, right? So think about the time, the effort, the money that's going into something to create this product of yours or service, and include that in what you're pricing it at. Because you want to make a profit, but you also want it to be affordable for people. Okay. So the other thing is, make sure that you are staying level-headed. This can get stressful. There's always a million things to think about when you're launching a business, but you want to balance your passion with profitability. You don't want to be so focused on, I need to make money, that you lose sight of, this is something you're passionate about. This is something that you genuinely want to give to other people. You just also want to make money off of it and make that part of your life. So focus on staying motivated when you're trying to grow your business and launch it. Focus on trying to stay low stress about it, and focus that this is a passion of yours and you want to help others and you want to make money. And that'll help you get through the challenges and tough times. Okay, so let's talk about some marketing tips for finding your niche audience. So this is important because the more specific you can get with who your audience is, the more likely they are to convert and buy your product. If you're trying to just reach a bunch of people, I'm trying to reach anyone who's interested in photography, that's a large audience. But if you're like, I'm trying to reach moms who are interested in photography so that they can take better photos of their family, that's a much more specific audience. For example, my audience is mompreneurs, mom entrepreneurs, not just entrepreneurs and not just female entrepreneurs, but mom entrepreneurs, women who have kids and are trying to start their business. That's a much smaller audience. And yes, you could say like, oh, quantity, you're trying to reach a lot more people, but you're not going to resonate as much with your message as if you can get a lot more specific. Okay, so try to define who your ideal customer is, who your really specific niche audience is, who they are, what they value, and what they would love about your product or service that would change their life and really help them. Okay. Now let's talk about marketing on a budget. You really want to provide a lot of tutorials, behind the scenes looks, especially when you're just starting out. You might not have like success stories or testimonials to give. So this is a really good way to provide some more information on your product or your service.
And then similarly, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to start running paid ads right away or at all. You can, I like Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, those are all free to just start creating content on. There's a lot of free platforms or platforms that have like a free first tier that you can do. I think Canva is a great one. I think they have a free first tier. There's some video platforms that have a good free first tier. I would always recommend those. I think MailChimp, for if you're trying to generate like an email CRM, I think that has a free tier or like a really cheap first tier as well. I think it's like $12, maybe 15. So there's a lot of tools out there that are free. And I always recommend do a free trial. Make sure that the platform that you're signing up for has a free trial so you can actually test it out before you spend money on it. Maybe that sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised. Okay, so let me just talk about a moment for how I turned my passion into a business. So my passion, I'm a mom of two, under two, and I love helping other moms make money and be successful. So I spent a decade in advertising and technology. So I have a big background in ad tech, and I love researching tools. That's my big thing. I love researching AI tools to see what would make my job easier, what would make my team's job easier, what would be beneficial and efficient and have all of these advantages for the company. And so that was my favorite thing to do when I was in my career. And so now with my Mompreneur Consulting, I love to research what are some of the best tools out there that would help moms. I love AI tools. I know there's a ton out there in the market, and there's some that are really like new and not that great, but I love ChatGPT. They have a free version. I talk about ChatGPT all the time on my Instagram. If you don't already follow me, it's mompreneur_consulting. I do a lot of tips on how to use ChatGPT to be more successful and make money in your business. But there's a lot of tools out there. So anyways, I love researching tools and I love helping moms. And so I took what I was passionate about, being a mom, and technology that helps be more successful in my business, in my job, and created a business out of that. And so I help other moms use technology like ChatGPT to grow your business, automate and scale and make more money faster and quicker. And so, for example, you don't have to create content every day. Have ChatGPT help you create content. So then instead of spending 5 hours a day creating content, 3 hours, you do it in 30 minutes, right? So that's just one example. So I love helping other moms because we have so much going on. I mean, so much. I have a 6-month-old daughter and an almost 2-year-old son. And so my girl is home with me all day. So I only work when she's napping. And it's not even every time. Like I love taking a nap when she naps sometimes. So I'm all about helping other moms. So that's how I turned what I was passionate about into something profitable. Entrepreneurship and growing your business and making money. There's a huge market for that. But I scaled it into something. I found my very niche audience, mom entrepreneurs, and my message was able to resonate much better with that specific niche audience. And I love it. I love being able to help other moms, like with this podcast. Okay, so that's it. So remember, when you want to turn your passion into something profitable, make sure to test out your ideas, make sure there's a market for it already, build your business model, find what you can have a recurring revenue model or a one-off purchase model. I've talked about marketing and using free platforms to market. So what I want you to do is brainstorm potential ways that you can monetize your hobby, something you're passionate about, and start testing it out. Ask family and friends what they think of it. If you're selling something on Etsy, maybe create a product or mock up a version of what it might look like and ask friends and family their feedback or social media and just start testing it out. Just put some casual little feelers out. Okay, that's it. Don't forget to join the Mompreneur Mastermind Community. We've got weekly lessons on how to use ChatGPT to grow your business and make money. We got weekly networking with other mompreneurs and group coaching. And you can promote your own offers in the group, and there's a lot more. So check it out. I've got the link in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next episode.